Hello and welcome to Random Commentary number 7 with me, One Exploits, and you, whoever you may be. And today I'm going to be showing some Red Orchestra 2 footage again, but from the Axis campaign, which is the single player mode, which I hadn't played when I played the multiplayer, so it actually does introduce you to a lot of the elements, like it teaches you how to use all the guns, like all the different settings on the guns. You can actually adjust the iron sight or the gun sight, so if you're shooting further away you can adjust for like the drop. There's actually a drop if you're shooting further away, so you'd have to aim higher, or else you can adjust the sight down, like 1,000 meters from like 100 meters. The sight, you can increase it, I think, yeah, so that's very useful to know. Also there's it gives you like targets and you have to aim at the targets. There's also an underthrow for the grenade. If you're throwing it in the ditch or something, you can underthrow it, so it teaches you that also. It also teaches you how to use, well, it's pretty obvious how to use, there's like bombs for blowing up tanks. It's like a big hand grenade basically, but you just throw it at the tank and it blows it up. It's good because it has a proper, like it's not like a tutorial, but it's like training camp, kind of like Call of Duty had at the very start of it. So it's like a boot camp, yeah. It's teaching you how to use all the weapons, teaching you how to use all the grenades, teaching you how to do everything, so you can do it effectively in multiplayer. So it's a very, very good way to introduce you to the game. And then the campaign itself is quite odd. It also teaches you how to be a squad leader and be a commander, because it teaches you the different commands, and it's like send your squad to this point, send your assault team to this point. There's like different teams, there's assault and there's a marksman group or something like that, and then you send one group to the fence and one group stay behind the tank. And then there's also you press 5 for binoculars, and you can actually mark a spot for artillery, so you can bring in an artillery barrage. That would be very, very good, very handy, like if you want to clear out a building or something, because it seems that artillery actually goes through buildings, because when I was in a building I got destroyed by it, so building doesn't really provide cover from artillery, it seems. At least not in my case, unless I was just unlucky, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't. Anyway, the single player campaign, as I was saying, is quite odd. It's not like you're running about on your own. You're like part of a squad, and if you die you come back as another one of the squad. You get like 10 men, and if you're playing on normal difficulty you get reinforced every couple of minutes, so it's kind of useful. I guess if you're playing on the hardest difficulty you don't get any reinforcements, so it'll be obviously a lot harder. And it's good training for the multiplayer, because it basically is like multiplayer, because you're just, it's like playing on a multiplayer map, well, single player multiplayer, and you're capturing objectives just like in the multiplayer. Only thing is you can order your team about. If you're once you spawn, I think you spawn as a commander at the start, but then if you die you just come back as an ordinary squad member. I'm not sure if you can actually choose which member you respawn as, but it's not like respawn, it's like instant spawn. If you die you'll get a message respawning as marksman, and then, or whatever, and then a couple of seconds later you'll be that marksman, like wherever he is at that moment. Could be he's about to die, which would be unfortunate, like it happened to me once at least. But it is a very enjoyable campaign, and I'm pretty sure I'm nearly at least 3/4 way through it. I'll put
useful if you don't want to expose yourself. Use blind fire now.
I'll put some of it up here anyway. I'll put about half an hour footage probably to this. This is going to be Games of 2012 Part 2 finally. I hope none of the dates have changed, because I've already recorded this vocal like a couple of weeks ago, so I don't think it has, because Well, as I say, games are all subject to change, so it happens, you know.
Stand up straight again.
I'm not sure about the actual ally campaign because it was locked, but I'm not sure if I think the way it works is that you complete the Axis campaign first, which is the German campaign, and then you can do the ally campaign,
well done.
which would be interesting. Is it just from the other side? But I've played about 2 hours of the campaign so far, and it seems quite significant. It's very good training for multiplayer. Very, very good training. Except for the fact that AI isn't. Sometimes it can be a bit dodgy. Like you get enemies just standing about, or else hitting a wall.
Well done. Move on to the next station.
And not doing anything useful, which is a shame. But I mean, they could have worked on that better. But it's clear that this game is mainly multiplayer, I'd say. But at least it does have a decent campaign. It has a good, substantial campaign. It has 2 of them, in fact, like the Russian and the Ally. And apparently it's getting Stalingrad campaign as well, whatever that is. And the co-op mode and the challenges are coming also. I'm not sure if they're out now or what. It's now the 23rd. I haven't actually played it in a few days, but I will be playing it again, definitely on multiplayer, because I've learned quite a lot from the single player. I might actually make some montages of it, because there's quite I got a comment there saying it was there's not a lot of Red Orchestra 2 footage, so I may do some more multiplayer, and hopefully I've gotten better the next time I play it. I haven't actually played it since well, a couple of days ago there, as I said. Anyway, going to talk about games of 2012 now. I've talked enough about that last week, Red Orchestra 2. I just wanted to cover the details of the single player. I haven't actually got to play a tank in single player yet. I don't know if that happens. It probably does in one of the campaigns, but it would be very interesting. I was playing against tanks in the last campaign I played, like blowing them up with those, I don't know what they're called, they're like massive grenades. You just throw them at the tank and then blow up after 2 of them. It's very, very handy. I'm not sure, I've not seen them in the multiplayer, like, but I was mostly playing infantry in that, so yeah, going on to games of 2012. And as I say, these dates are all subject to change, and they more than likely will change. And if I've got any of these dates wrong, it's because I recorded this a week or so ago, so it may have changed by now. But I doubt it, because they would only change, like, it's so far off that the developers would be like, they wouldn't change it so suddenly. Like more often than not, it's a couple of months before it gets knocked back. So it's only September now. We've got October, November, December, and January we're into. So like 3 months at least until 2012 January. Yeah, 3 months and a couple of days. And I'm really looking forward to Skyrim 11/11/11. Cannot wait for that day. That's just 1 month and
good from the crowd. Fire free.
8 days away. No, wait. 19 days away. Yeah.
Good.
So now we'll go back to games of 2012 and the remaining releases, which are quite a few. Got Max Payne 3 in March of 2012. I thought it was coming out in 2011. I actually said in the last games of 2011 I was talking about Max Payne 3. It was supposed to come out, but it's been knocked back to March of 2012. Quite recently, actually, 8th of the 9th, 2011. It's going to launch on PC, PS3 and Xbox 360 all on the same date, I assume, I hope. Rockstar Games, which is good. I never actually realised that it was made by Rockstar Games. That's cool. They made a really good story-based shooter, third person. It's got multiplayer first for the series, which alters maps and mode progression for all players. Traditional multiplayer modes. I don't know how that means co-op. Probably does mean co-op. Every frigging game now has co-op. wish they concentrated more on a decent single player game.
When you're aimed down,
I
don't
suppose
snatch
some
the
games
trigger.
do, like Deus Ex there is awesome single player. It says it's got an expansive single player campaign, which picks up where Max Payne 2
Low and left.
left off. I better
Full
play that
drops,
actually. I've
aim high
never
or just
played
your
Max
sights.
Payne 2.
High and
I've
high.
played the first one
Your aim down,
extensively,
don't snatch the
very
trigger.
extensively.
On
That
target.
means
Good shot.
several playthroughs.
Well done.
Love
Stand
that
up straight
game.
again. You missed
I was going to do a
completely.
let's play of it,
Focus on
but
the target.
I got it on Steam there
Your rifle still has the
after
scanner
having
eye on
played
sight.
it way back
Use
in
them if you're
2001
forced to
on the
engage an enemy
PS2.
close by.
But
Use
I
your
don't
eye
know
on sight
whether
to
I
engage
will.
the targets.
I may or may not. I probably won't because of so many games coming up. There's Skyrim coming out on the 11th of 11th, 2011. We've got Serious Sam 3. We've got Rage in October.
Good.
Both of
Move on
those
to
in
the
October.
grenade pit when you're done.
So much. So little time.
Now take cover here.
Um,
This is a standard hand grenade.
Max is still haunted by
Explosive
memories of
head,
his past
wooden handle.
as he begins a
Fuse
new
ball in
life
the base.
working
Toss the
private
grenade underhand
security,
into the
attacking
pit
a
in
rich
front of
family.
you.
Hopefully there's slow time in this. Obviously there would be. It's a Max Payne game. They did that so well. So well. Better than any game I've ever seen. Gangs target the family, though forcing Max to fight and protect them. Clear his name. And rid himself of all his demons. So there's going to be like those demon levels or dream sequences you had, or nightmare sequences you had in the first game. That they were
Now
awesome.
throw some grenades overhand into the pits further
They've
out.
really inspired a lot of games. Max Payne 3 is described as a true cross-studio collaboration between Rockstar's global development
Remember,
team.
once the fuse is pulled,
Uses
it is
natural
also
motion
ticking down.
physics.
If
Does
the
that,
enemy are
that
close,
looks like it's
pause
from
before throwing for a more instant effect. This
looks
is
like it's
cooking
from
your grenade. Don't hold it too
L.A.
long.
Noir.
This time cook the grenade for a couple of
And
seconds.
brand new
Pause
iteration
before
of Rockstar's
releasing it.
advanced game engine.
Well done.
I've seen a
Move on
screenshot
to
there.
the
It looks a
fixed
lot
machine
like
gun.
the bodies from L.A. Noir, so they must be making use of that because it was a very good engine, like, especially for faces and expressions. Yeah, weapons are said to be realistic. The cover system intelligent, and the bullet time mechanism
This is the
bullet time
MP34
mechanism
mounted on
sophisticated.
the left
Bullet
foot
time,
tripod for sustained
good,
fire.
good. We've got bullet time.
Here it is built for
Max Payne
more
3 gives
stable.
us an amazing
Just
creative
remember not
opportunity to
overheat
evolve the
the
most
bell.
iconic
Still have iron
characters.
sights for more accurate fire.
That's Rockstar
Use them.
talking.
Range is free. Open
We're excited
fire
to
at
show
your
fans a
target.
modern version of Max that pulls him back into his dark and twisted story. Very nice. All I really want is
Head out of
a
the station.
graphic update on Max Payne 1. This looks very good, promising, very promising.
Before you go, just remember that you can use your weapon in close combat.
Anyway,
Now
March
charge at the
2012,
barrel.
that's Max
the
Payne
idea.
3.
Don't let them get the better of you in hand-to-hand combat. Well done. Goodbye. Good luck.
He's got a bald head in this one, I think.
September 1942.
This is the same character from the
Western
first one.
Stalingrad. As our high command
Max Payne, must be
suspected,
Max Payne.
the Russian army
That is his
fully
name, isn't it?
prepared to face the full might of Germany's
Also, we've
finest.
got XCOM, which is
Western
coming out in March.
Stalingrad. As our
Which is,
high command
what is it,
suspected,
the space
Russian army is
shooter.
fully prepared to face the full might of Germany's finest.
I mean, it was in the 90s we had
Now
XCOM.
scurries deeper
It
into
was
the city.
I never actually
Driven
played it,
back
but I
to
heard
the
about it.
Bolsheviks, and they marshal
Space
the
strategy
remaining
shooter,
forces in
was
the
it?
so-called
It's like,
Red
oh
Barracks.
yes, like TIE fighters and
To clear
stuff.
the last of the
Weird.
resistance in the
There's
area.
like
This will be a nighttime
a
mission.
revamp of it, or
The moon is full,
a
so you'll be
reimagining
able
of
to
it,
see.
something like that. So it looks
Begin your assault by securing the
looks
warehouse.
promising also.
Be sure to clear the upstairs offices before moving
PC
on.
game is
Then
XCOM is very
eliminate
different
all
prospects to
resistance in the political
XCOM.
school to the south of the warehouse.
X-COM,
It's a single
the
story
revered
structure.
strategy game.
Should present few problems.
So this is
Next,
different.
capture the infirmary.
So this is a
Little more than a
notice.
two-story
You'll probably
hole
dig it anyway.
But no doubt crawling with Russians.
Console games, XCOM
Be
is
sure
a
to use cover
reimagining
when
of
possible.
XCOM, the PC
Your
strategy
final
game.
objective is
You'll
the
probably dig it
administrative
anyway.
hall to the south of the infirmary.
There aren't many
Mostly
licenses which
intact,
would be
so
quite
watch
as
those windows.
unwise to resurrect for the
Luftwaffe has
Xbox
reduced the
360
area to
as
rubble.
1994 GSO.
Proceed with caution.
Why is this for
trained
the?
and
It's for
ill-equipped though he
PC
is.
and Xbox 360.
Close
For some reason they're
quarters
talking about
makes
an
for a
Xbox
cunning
360.
foe who loves nothing
1994
more than to
came
drive
out.
his rusty
UFO
blade
Enemy
into
Unknown,
honest German
aka
flesh.
XCOM, UFO Defense. One of the finest electric video games ever committed to pixel paper. It was a very good game back then. After nearly 16 years of fan projects and unofficial sequels, and really truly awful spin-offs, nothing has managed to recapture some remarkable blend of intensity, strategy, scares and B-movie silliness. This has made XCOM into a precious thing. 2K are bringing this back as well. They've done so much. They've done Duke Nukem, now they're doing this, and that other Darkness thing. Bringing XCOM back and turning it into first-person shooter was predictably and unhelpfully vicious, but it came from very blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's actually abandoned its original genre and it's slipping into first-person shooter trousers. Apparently, it hasn't abandoned its original ethos though. It isn't a game about running down corridors, shooting aliens in the closest proximity they have to a face, and then watching a climactic cutscene. It's a game about making a plan and trying your hardest to stick to it, even when the world goes to hell. The original XCOM was a game about fending off a wide-scale alien invasion of Earth in two very different ways. On the top level, you built bases, researched new technology, and trained a high-tech army. On the low level, you dispatched a squad of armed operatives to the scene of an alien sighting, and oversaw the resulting shoot-up. Again, it's about coming up with a plan and seeing if that plan works, often brutally unforgiving circumstances. That sounds pretty cool actually. So you organize your army and then send it out, sort of like strategy game, RTS, and then see what happens. But if it goes wrong, you can replay it, I assume, which would be kind of good, kind of necessary. So it's high strategy, which is space strategy is very, 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 very lacking these days. I mean, in the 90s we had a shit ton of it. In the late 90s, mid to late 90s, we had a shit ton of space strategy shooters. Now we have none. This is first person though. It's just taking the idea and making it into first person, because we have that many first person shooters though. They really should have stuck with space, in my opinion, because we have so few space shooters. And look at the technology we have now. We could make like planets, we could make amazing details on the universe, the actual universe, and we could have amazing ships and amazing waves of enemies coming. I mean, it would look absolutely amazing. I mean, look at Eve, one of the only MMOs like in space. I suppose you have Star Trek, but that's not really the same thing. This is like high detailed environment. Even though that was quite a few years ago, but like now, they could do so much. Anyway. So the new XCOM isn't really a strategy game, but it's about preparing for a fight, dealing with a fight, and then knowing when to cut your losses. So it's FPS with some strategy, but it's not a strategy game as such. You just prepare for the fight and then deal with it. You always run, that's how XCOM works. Nothing's so simple as fighting until the end. Until every alien is dead. You fight for as long as you can stay alive. As long as you have enough health and ammo to keep going. The longer you stay on a mission though, the more the threat escalates. Blobs become titans, titans become, well, the most recent trailer hints at strange cubist creatures designed as housewives. What? Perhaps there will be inspiration drawn from XCOM's later foes. Minecraft, the original. Mind control weapons and creatures which can lay quick hatching eggs, living inside men. Sounds interesting. Like the graphics are kind of cartoony. There's actually an E3 trailer. But I would prefer a space strategy shooter, because we have none of them at the moment. PC space strategy shooter, where is it? It doesn't exist. Well, obviously in the 90s, 2000s it did exist, the early 2000s. But now we've got nothing, severely lacking. And there is a market for it, there's no doubt about that. I mean, look at how many fan-made XCOMs there were, as he said in that article. So just no one's making it because they think everybody wants Call of Duty type games, which they don't. They do not want that. Stop making those, please. We've got enough of those. Don't need any more Call of Duty style shooters, really. Thanks. Of course, we've got Mass Effect 3 coming out in the it actually says Mass Effect 3 Q1 of 2012, so we're not actually sure the exact date. Oh, well, nice. We've got a Counter-Strike Global Offensive coming out in Q1 2012. So a new Counter-Strike game, that should be very, very interesting. Made by Valve. Very interesting indeed. Well, some of the graphics look amazing for that. I just had a look at the page here. There's going to be 2 modes. You can play competitively and casually. In order to appease both camps, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, 2 different modes here. Competitive mode is serious business. You can only spectate squad mates after you die. So it's kind of like 1 death per game basically in these games, which is weird, but I've never actually played that much Counter-Strike. Played a wee bit, got kind of bored with it. Communicate only with teammates, and the in-game economic repercussions for dying are as harsh as the global economy is right now. Casual modes has more lenient restrictions on what you can buy, allows everyone to chat regardless of alignment, and you can view all players' viewpoints after dying. Sounds kind of similar actually. This also matches you with friends independent of skill. For those who play primarily as a social experience, this is a good way to avoid the rabid fanatics who will throw a hissy fit if a teammate messes up. We've simultaneously raised the skill ceiling on the whole and lowered the skill floor. It's actually a pretty good idea because you're separating the pros from the noobs. No offense, but I would be a noob if I played that because I've never really played Counter-Strike, so yeah, I would play socially. Till maybe you got better and then you could maybe play competitively, but I've never been that into actually playing competitively. Unless it was for a prize or something. It's pretty stupid. But I suppose you work your way up, maybe you can become that good, but there's so much competition now that it's just, I mean, in this world, this competitive world, there's so much competition in everything. Everything you go to do has insane competition in it. Whether it be games, whether it be a job, whether it be freaking anything these days, and there's so much, just so much, so many people in the world that competition has reached the point where it's just insane. Yeah, but shouldn't let it get you down. Just keep a positive mindset and play it to enjoy. Basically, play to enjoy, then you're win-win basically, because you're enjoying and you're not stressing yourself out. You're having a good time, and other people are having a good time if you're chatting with them or whatever. It's win-win. Got Prototype 2, which is a very open world, cathartic type. Basically, you're a one-man army, and you're taking out, well, taking on the world basically. But it was quite. He's quite the anti-hero type of guy. He's a morally confused anti-hero. And in the sequel, he's actually a villain. Huh. Very interesting. Like, the first character was passive, and his motives were odd and muddied and muddled. This new guy is Heller. He's a single-minded avenger, wholly reconciled to the deadly potential of his superpowers. So it's going to be even more destruction. Never actually got around to playing Prototype, but I saw quite a few videos of it, and looks quite good. Got some really good reviews also, like 8 out of 10. So I probably will play it when it comes out. Looking forward to that. We got Star Trek, the game, which looks like a third-person shooter, kind of like Mass Effect 3. It's coming out summer 2012. Graphics look quite good, like, but except between the two movies. The guy says it's not a Star Trek game, but it's like the movie was said it's not a Star Trek movie. It's like it's not based on any of the movies. It's like set between movies. As I said, looks quite slick. Was it E3? But it's got co-op as well, like most games these days. As I said, it looks interesting, like, but nothing special in my opinion. Until I actually get my hands on it and play it, can't really say much about it because I don't really know much about it. I'm just going over the rest of these pretty much. So unless there's something that really catches my eye that I'm really interested in. Got Arma 3, also in summer 2012. Arma 2 was the free-to-play. I think it went free-to-play recently, actually. It's like the most realistic shooter, apparently, FPS. Kind of like Battlefield 2, but even more realistic. So, that's coming out summer 2012, Arma 3. I'm sure if you're into that, you know about that. PC exclusive, of course. I mean, you couldn't have Arma on the PS3 or Xbox, so it's a realistic shooter. Bioshock Infinite, now there is a game I am interested in, very much so. PC, Xbox and PS3. Bioshock Infinite, I cannot wait for that. First two Bioshocks were amazing. 2K games, oh yes, they do make very good games. 2K games are responsible for a lot of great games. So we got a preview. Bioshock was an amazing game. Very clean, very original style, very good story, very awesome environments, very good graphics, just very highly polished all around. And one of the highest rated games on Metacritic, if not the highest rated. It's like 96. Pretty insane. Actually got it on Steam for like £4, which was amazing. Played it, was like, wow, why did I not play this when it came out? This was a couple of months ago, or well, 6 months ago, something like that.
The artillery is smashing into it. Tanks and infantry comb the street, and this is the toughest work. Everyone who gets out alive may thank God.
Bioshock Infinite is about a flying metropolis called Columbia, so it's not underwater like the first two games, where people travel around by hooking onto a network of overhead roller coasters. Holy shit, that sounds insane. Overhead roller coasters, cities in the air, awesome. Your job is to rescue an innocent girl who seems to be able to rip through time and space and is being pursued by a giant mechanical songbird. And it's 1910. Why doesn't it all fall down?
Firstly, your squad is made up of 3 sections.
The most important thing with any of these games is that you create a sense of consistency. You make a leap, but some of it is based on science. That's creative director of Irrational Games, Ken Levine. This sounds amazing. It's like based a city in the air, not underwater. This is so good. There's never been a game like that. It's so original. Bioshock did it first with the underwater, now they're going up to the sky. Sounds so good. So we don't know what makes it float, but we do know why it was built. At the turn of the 20th century, America was at a peak of its national optimism. Previous few decades of innovation, discovery and expansion had made it strong. Columbia was an emblem of that strength, but it was also designed to export that strength. And following a violent international incident, the floating city became a rogue state and disappeared. You have found it again, playing as a cynical former Pinkerton agent called Booker DeWitt, who thinks he's seen everything. You're charged by a mysterious benefactor with rescuing a girl called Elizabeth, imprisoned in a tower for 15 years. Elizabeth is practically your opposite. She's no fool, but she's innocent and naive. Together you try to escape, so this is going to be co-op, is it? I prefer like single player, because with co-op You have to play with another person, sometimes usually silver line, and it can be tricky because the discrepancies between your free time and their free time, and also how long you like to play and how long they like to play. There's a discrepancy there usually. I'd rather you try to skip it, easier said than done, because half the population wants Elizabeth back in the town. I like having the option of a co-op mode, but I like the main focus to be on the single player.
We need artillery at this location now.
Yeah, unless it's an MMO, obviously, because MMOs are people-based, social-based. Like Irrational's other game, the path you tread is largely chosen by you, but the manner in which you tread. Why did I say tread instead of tread? The path you tread is largely chosen by you, but the manner in which you tread is your own design. That makes no sense. The path you tread is chosen by you, the manner in which you tread is your own design. There are projectile weapons like pistols, shotguns to choose between, and also vigor, special powers that let you lift enemies from the ground. So it's basically like the system in the first game. With the electricity, you could choose your skills, and you got like mana injections. Enemies from the ground, or attack them with flocks of angry birds. Oh my god, that sounds awesome. Throwing them off buildings and stuff, that would be awesome. And actually off the entire city, that would be fun to do. You know, it's set above the sky, in the air, sorry. So you like knock them off to the ground below, which is a way down, I'm assuming. Far way down. You can also direct Elizabeth to use her power to assist, creating cover, escapers, and even allies to fight alongside you by dragging them. So you can actually control her, so obviously it's single player then. Into your reality through tears in your surroundings. Terrors, sorry. Tears. Tears is spelled the same as terrors, isn't it? T-E-A-R-S. One change here is the way some of your passive abilities, called Nostrums, Infinite's equivalent of Bioshock's gene tonics, that's what they were, like mana potions, but actually not, are utilised. When we look back at the first Bioshock, says Levine, one problem we thought we had was that people didn't feel wholly connected to the character because there wasn't a permanence in the character build system, and you could swap anything out at will. That was right, I didn't really feel a connection with the character. That was the one downfall of it. So Nostrums are permanent. Some of them you encounter at specific points, and all players are meant to gain them. But sometimes you have a choice. When you find these potlock boxes, you choose one of 4 Nostrums and it becomes a permanent part of your character. Well, lots of these granular choices, says Levine, but there are permanent granular choices as to how your character evolves across the game. Can make morally ambiguous decisions, like euthanizing a horse or rescuing a man you don't know from lynching. This will weigh on the outcomes also. Very good, very good. You've got more moral choices, always good in the game. Quite often the theme of our games refers to unintended consequence, and I think we will see what choices are made in this game. You will not really be sure what the consequences will be, says Levin. There's no angel or devil. Elizabeth's not going to be the angel all the time saying do this book or do the right thing, because both of them learn very quickly that there's not always the right thing. That's Levine again. Looks very, very, very promising indeed. Hopefully it'll be up to the standard of the original games.
Then head north and establish a foothold on the factory's grain elevator's ground floor.
Levine again, the original idea was that this city was going to be a floating symbol of the American ideals, of founding principles, but as quite often happens with the political movements, there are a lot of people who get different ideas about what that actually means.
The enemy are determined and relentless, but failure in this
it's very much inspired by looking at groups like Bander Meinhof, extreme left-wing group in act in Germany between 1970 and late 90s. I remember an interview with someone who left the group and said, I started to protest, blah blah blah. So there's going to be like lynchings in this and extremist groups, and you can align yourself with those groups, or else you can go against those groups for justice, so you can play it any way you want. It's quite in depth, but Looking forward to that. It looks very, very promising indeed. Bioshock Infinite, which should be out on the, well, Bioshock Infinite, where is it? See this, I cannot find it. Well, it just says 2012, so we don't actually have a set in stone. Don't actually have a set in stone release date at the moment. It's 2012, but I'd assume it should be out by mid 2012. I'd assume, like talking like April, March, May, but hopefully before summer, because that would be awesome. Could play it during the summer, or even before. What else have we got? Just having a look through these. Borderlands 2, 2K games also. How many games do they make? Well, Bioshock actually said 2K, but it's actually Irrational Games. Guess there's like producer, director, what is it? Distributor, yeah, stuff like that. There's all different companies do different things. Although some do various things and actually have their name on it anyway. Darksiders 2, PC. Borderlands, you know, I've never played Borderlands, so I'm not that interested in it. Although it does say hot beside it, so have a look. Wait a minute, Borderlands. Wasn't that shooter that was shit? No, wait. Hang on. Ah, that's what Borderlands is. Yeah, I remember now. Sort of like fast-paced, old-school shooter. Kind of cartoony though. 18. Yeah, kind of. People were saying how Borderlands is like what Duke Nukem should have been, you know, shooter-wise. Duke Nukem Forever. So it was a very good game. Got like 8, 9 out of 10 on a lot of sites. So, but I'm not that interested in it because I've never played it. Maybe I should have played it. Maybe I should have checked it out, but I haven't. Dragon Quest X. That's on Wii U only. Pity. Dragon's Dogma. What's Dragon's Dogma? No idea. It's not PC anyway. It's a PS3, Xbox 360 console. Of course, we've got Guild Wars 2 2012. Can't wait for that. That's going to be probably the only MMO I will play, but I may or may not play it because MMOs require a lot of time. Single player games you can pick up and play and that down, but multiplayer games, especially for me, take a lot of time because you have to invest a lot of time into your character. You have to develop your character. You have to boost, grind to get XP, to get gear, to get further progress, to get onto the next level of dungeons. You have to get to the end game content. You have to grind for gear for the end game content. You have to. But actually, Guild Wars 2 has a PvP system, I think, where you can actually just straight away go into PvP, and it's not gear based, it's skill based. So that should be very, very interesting. Where you just choose your class, you go in straight in. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but they showcased it in the recently in some game show, but I don't know whether that will carry through until the actual release, or whether they will have gear in the release. It probably will have gear, like every single MMO and PvP has gear, as far as I know, as far as I've experienced anyway. But I'm sure a lot of people know about Guild Wars 2. It is highly anticipated. It is highly looked to as a very realistic alternative to WoW. If you're playing WoW at the moment and you're fed up with WoW, I quit WoW in December there, so I'm very cautious to get into any other MMOs since then, because they take up so much time, and I don't have that time anymore, especially with making these videos and everything. Metro Last Light, which was a sequel to Metro 2033, which is another, I think it was an FPS, wasn't it? Looks very, very interesting, this one, also. Made by Eastern European developer again. Seems they're making a lot of the best PC type games, but it's also coming out at Xbox and PS3. But the graphics look amazing, which is odd because it's coming out cross-platform. Hopefully they have a higher texture pack, as I say, for PC. They should do this for all games. Should be scaled back for Xbox and PS3, and the real true non-scaled back version should be PC. That's what we want, with the MIDI version on PC, and then give the scaled back version to PS3, Xbox, because basically the system can only run the scaled back version, so you can't be running the heavy MIDI version on PS3 and Xbox. There's actually a hefty PC demo of Metro 23 that will give you a good idea of what to expect from both the original and the sequel. I haven't actually played 2033, so I should check that out. Story is that people are stuck. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, the game was being shown on PC on the E3 demo, and it was a graphical tour de force. Metro 23 was considered the benchmark for whether you needed a new graphics card. Ha! So that was like really, really high end. So hopefully this will carry on with that, because that was I think Metro 23 was a PC exclusive, and that would appear to be the case here. Nice, awesome. So they're actually going to do that. That's the way it should be done, I think. Eastern, or is it Russian? I don't know whether they're Polish, like the people from Witcher 2 and they had hard resets here, because they all seem to be at it, whereas no one else seems to be doing it. Not that much, anyway. With the high-end graphics for PC, which is very rarely done now. Lead character's family lighter producing blah blah blah. Darkness naturally plays a key role, as he's seen unscrewing a light bulb before slitting an enemy's throat. Given that the demo has to survive the maelstrom of E3, the stealth sections are largely overlooked. Comprised of pick and mix of pre-action sequences for various parts of the game, interspersed with lengthy cutscenes, spooky noises, and a lot of shouting and rushing. Don't know why there is this. Is it first-person shooter, or is it third-person? There are comparisons with locally developed games such as Stalker. That is a Ukrainian game. Development included. Last year's debut title appears to have carved enough of a niche to warrant this sequel. That said, it does have a whiff of remake about it, with the talk of some same tube stations being revisited along with new ones. There's also confirmation of multiplayer was absent from the last one purely because they didn't have the resources. In contrast to the sleeper hit XCOM. Sleeper hit. Oh, it was a sleeper hit, which means a commercial flop. Status of the first outing. It almost feels like THQ has told 4A to go away and make the game better in return for that. In return for which they'll market it properly. I would hope we pull in more of the Western audience, says Dean Sharp. I think there's a certain stigma which goes along with development in Eastern Europe, and some Americans turn their nose up to, which is wrong, because Witcher 2, look at the Witcher 2, look at the hard reset coming out. They may well be missing out on the highlights of next year, and certainly in technical terms this suspicion is misplaced, as the game is graphically impressive as anything we've seen recently. We're friends with Nvidia, haha, Sharp says, although with the last round of video cards we had to bribe the airport people to let us bring them in. Hopefully their credit will be good enough to enable them to finish the game, assuming the war doesn't end first. So it's due to be released in 2012. PC, Xbox and PS3. Looks promising also. Why doesn't it tell you what it is though? Is it FPS? Is it third person shooter? I'm not actually sure about that. It is a shooter though, I'm almost certain. What else have we got? We've got, I think that's about it. Prey 2 of course, yeah, made by Bethesda, which is 2012. It's their sequel to Prey, which is actually quite an underrated game, quite an original game. It's quite short though, but it was quite unique, and the weapons and the environments were quite unique. It was quite interesting for sure. And I don't know much about it because I haven't played the original game, but again, it looks promising and looks like a game to watch out for in 2012. I've actually got Stalker 2 coming out also in 2012. PC exclusive, awesome. Never played Stalker. I thought that game came out years ago. It says Stalker 2 creeping towards RPG. There's going to be a greater emphasis on survival within Stalker 2. I think Stalker was basically like, what do you call it? Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. That was an awesome, amazing game. Loved playing that on PS2 back in the day, where stealth was everything. Was it quite like Metal Gear Solid, but more in depth in some ways, and more gritty, more dark, more visceral? Stalker, yeah. Oh yeah, it was on Steam recently for a reduced price, but it's also made by some guys from Eastern European country. They're coming out with some brilliant games. It's really surprising. Well, not really surprising, but like, I mean, they're making games that people just aren't making, which are really solidly good games, really graphically amazing games, and really quite original, and games people are, like I would be, really hankering for. I don't know the right word for it. really games that are really lacking at the minute. They're actually coming out with, like old school FPS, hard reset, and really in-depth RPG, which is Witcher 2. Yep, so that looks promising also. This Stalker 2 is seeing development primarily on PC, so you won't see any compromise in the PC version, which is awesome. Key difference between PC and console versions will be the beauty of graphics, meaning PC will offer more visual effects. Will that be compromised? No, whatsoever. It won't be compromised. The interface won't be compromised because of console versions either. So that is awesome. Nice to see Eastern European guys really care about PC gaming. Unlike most American studios, unlike most European studios, which is a shame. They only care about making money from getting it cross-platform, and basically what they do is bad ports, because they release the game mainly for consoles and then say, well, might as well have a PC version. Go ahead, make a PC, just port it over. Simple port, and it's not good because it's not like the PC has a keyboard and mouse, so you have a lot more buttons, you have a lot more, it's hard to describe, it's like more ambidextrousness, whatever the word is for that. So yeah, you could have more free, open interface, but whereas with a gamepad, it's more difficult to navigate around that, so it's more inbuilt. Stalker 2 was launched last August, and they actually had 4 million sales of the original, which is amazing. So I should actually check that out also before it releases in 2012. There's no set release date, as I say. These are all games that say 2012, but there's no actual date. There's no actual set date. just 2012. Red Racer Unbound, racing game from Namco. Also in 2012, Sniper Elite. Why is that coming out on PS3 and Xbox only? I actually looked at the trailer for that. That's it's a sequel to the original, which came out in 2005. Amazing game. It was on PC, pretty much mainly, and then I think it came out on either PS2 or PS3 on Xbox. But this one's Xbox and PlayStation 3. But I'm pretty sure they said they were making a PC version, which would be, well, better, hopefully. But it's not actually here, so I don't know whether they've scrapped that in hopes of making more money, or what, or whether they've got money hungry and just said, let's just release it on Xbox and PS3 and not bother with PC. Which is a shame, really. That's pretty much it for games of 2012 so far. I may make an update to this because, as I say, there probably will be a lot of changes, as there are always changes to these release dates. They are subject to change, and more often than not they do change. So, thanks for watching, and they do get set back, as I say. Yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and as always, have a nice day.
Don't get up. Die! Cowards, die! How are you holding up? Watch my flank! Перегруппироваться! I'm on! He's suppressed! Don't let up! Teufel, he's on! Hold your fire! I'm running low on ammunition! He's out, you idiot! Save your ammunition for the enemy!
Victory! We'll all get Iron Crosses for this.